check your front, you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of pulls or drags in your fabric. Sometimes just releasing a couple of pins may make the difference. So you want everything smooth. You're gonna need to mark the bottom of your dart. Typically it's about 5 inches on the hip area. The back darts are usually a little longer than the front, so just kind of give yourself a mark where the dart wants to naturally end. You can't go all the way to the apex, so you got to back up at least 1/2 inch from the apex for the ending dart, and then your ending dart here. Make sure you have your notches, your marks on either side of your dart, and so that way you can draw your fisheye dart into your pattern when you get it. To start on the back, we're going to start with, again, lining up this first horizontal line with the bust tape. Keeping this second line is not on the waist, but it will be parallel to the floor above the waist. And the text wants us to put the first thing I want us to do is lift this to get a straight grain line and give yourself a dart in the neckline. I notice some of you are putting it into the shoulder, which is a more traditional spot, but it's actually in the neckline. And then it wants us from there to do like we did, get our shoulder line drawn in, clip our neck away, and then fold in one large dart. Now, I don't want too many pins because that's gonna distort your muslin too much. But they want us to start with one large dart, temporarily pin it, and shape the side seam in to go with the front. And then after they get the side seam, they want us to separate these into 2. Okay, that's the instruction in the text. I'm going to approach it just a little bit differently because I want to lower my neckline a little bit more than they do. I don't like this dart. I don't know about you, but from a design standpoint, I just don't like the look of it. So I'm going to show you how you can get rid of that if you want to do that. So you can do this method, or you can do like this. I'm going to actually pin in my 2 darts. And my 2 darts are going to be on either side of the princess line. They're not, neither one is going to line up with the princess. The first one is going to be about 2 inches in. I'm going to grab the waist, and then I'm going to go over about maybe 1.5 inches. Just see where it wants to fall on your form, and pinch the second dart. I'm going to clip my my neckline, and I just don't want that neckline dart. I don't know about you, but I don't think it's that attractive. So I'm going to clip a little bit closer. I'll just put a temporary pin for my shoulder, and I think I can get this smoothed out and get my neckline shape in there without the dart. I don't think I need it. Okay, it's a pretty small dart anyway. So pin these guys. So you can do either method. It's acceptable. What you want to do is you want to keep these grain lines straight through the hip area. Give yourself a couple of pins. And I'm going to clip a little bit. I don't have too much excess here because I'm giving her, depending on the size of the person, since our dress forms don't have much of a back view, I'm just giving her a little extra because most women have a little more there. And we can pin over. I think our text shows the pinning this way. You can go either way if you're more comfortable folding over, or if you're more comfortable grabbing this way. I'm fine with either. Okay, and I have, with these lines, I'm going to leave the tape there. I've already penciled my lines in, so I know where I'm at. And now I'm going to draw in my back. So get my shoulder. I have the back tape ending right here. And I'm going to take, I'll take some of this tape. I'm gonna just bring my neckline just a little bit lower so that it lines up with the shoulder area here. I'm not gonna do such a high neck that I need a dart. So I'm just gonna lower my neck and eliminate that dart, okay? Now in the newer textbook version, they actually have this neckline going down into a kind of a yoke shaped thing. So, but for the sake of this sheath, I think this is a good block for a sheath, and we can get a variety of designs off of this, not just this plain design. So this would be a good basic to have on hand for any time you want to do this kind of a slender dress. Now also too, we're going to be doing a bias dress project and evening gown. So we'll do another bias dress in muslin. The bias little top that we did was just kind of a warm up to that, but we'll do another one in class in muslin, and then an asymmetric design. I need to get a little more tape for the armhole. And so you might start thinking about that, the final project, which is an evening gown. Oops, I got this to the other armhole. Okay. And then you make your armhole line up with the front armhole, draw your lines in. If you want to release a little bit more of that dart, you can. I'm going to play with this until I get these darts a little bit smaller. Bring them over to the side a little bit. But you want 2 darts, and mine are going to be centered around the princess, not on the princess, okay? Once you get these lines, you mark them. Those of you who don't watch me make the pattern, basically what you're going to do is make a facing piece for this dress. And it's going to start, I would say, 2 inches below your armhole. Your pattern piece will come up, stay away from the bust line, and then right in center front, it's maybe a depth of 2.5 to 3 inches, right? You do the same thing in the back. You do this to your paper pattern, about 2 inches wide. And then in the back, I like to make this a little lower because there's no bust to be contended with. So I will make this maybe 4 inches. And it's a really nice place to put your label. When you have a facing piece like that, it's a clean finish. You can sew your label to it. Okay, and that's your pattern piece for the one piece facing. Now I'm gonna do this pattern in class after I finish out all these things. You guys need to see how I finish this pattern on the drape. Are you good? Because I'm noticing you guys are doing really well with following your text and working, which is what makes me happy, because that's telling me that you understand enough to follow the text and just do the work. So what that also means is that you can take on any project in that book. You can just try it, because if you can understand enough to follow the directions, you'll get a decent result. But you are going to make sure you end, you know, the dart ends just below the armhole. Down here, maximum, the dart's going to end at about 6 inches, 6 to 7 inches. The center dart is usually a little bit longer than the side dart. So that's fine, let that fall in where it wants to. And then transfer all that to your pattern paper once you are happy with the drape. Then you can take the muslin, instead of using the whole inch, give yourself a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and you can reuse this muslin piece for your full garment. If you want to make a real fabric garment, then just do it in real fabric. But the muslin is due next week at the beginning of class, finished completely, with the one-piece facing. And I'm gonna try and do a sewing demo before you have to go with the one-piece facing if you haven't done that before. And I will have that videotaped. If I don't get to it in class today, I'll do it on the weekend and have a family member tape me or something. All right? Thank you.